Hey, I'm just recording this real quick the day this video is meant to go live. I wanted to thank all of my friends for reviewing this video for me. I sent it to a lot of my friends to preview it before it came out, and I just wanted to thank them real quick. And I wanted to just extend a big thank you to my friends in general because they're really what helps keep me going. Times have been really rough this year, and I've generally just been going through a lot of shit. And having people there to listen to you and talk to you is extremely helpful. So I wanted to sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, thank my friends. So yeah, that's it. Hope you enjoy the video. Hey, my name is Zer, and welcome to Reflection. This is a bit of a different thing than something like Artrospection, where as opposed to specifically focusing on art, this is meant to be a thing I do at the end of every year to sort of reflect and see what I can improve for the future. The idea is to take everything this year, the good, the bad, the everything in between, and see what I can do to push myself even more in the coming year. Unfortunately, this year I likely won't go as in depth as I'd like to, in part because I'm busy getting ready to head off to school, but I did still want to make the video so I could say, hey, I closed out the year with a video, and I have a good, starting point for next year. One of the biggest accomplishments this year was me finally graduating from high school. That was kind of crazy, There's a lot to that story. Maybe I'll talk more about my school experience in another video, but I went from thinking I wasn't graduating to knowing I was graduating and having to scramble to prepare within 24 hours, and it was crazy. But yeah. My relationship with school has never been the greatest. I've always felt pressured to sort of perform to a level that I wasn't really mentally prepared for. And I've always been told, oh, you're really smart, and oh, you have so much brain power, and if you just applied it more, you'd be amazing. And then it's when you fail at something, when you're told that you could easily handle it if you just tried a little bit harder, it tends to hurt a little bit, you know what I mean? It's not an easy thing to experience, and I experienced it a lot during my time in school. So to an extent, I am glad that this part of my life, my formative years for schooling and stuff, I'm glad that that has finally come to a close. I could go on for a really long time about how much I dislike the American school system and how much this world just does not cater at all to people who are creative and whatnot. At least in the US, that's my experience. But I think that's a topic for another time. Outside of that, I also got accepted into a school I had no expectation of making it into. Not gonna say what specific school, because I don't want to accidentally dox myself or anything like that, because I know people on the internet can be fucking insane. So but just know it's a school I really wanted to get into and that I'm excited to attend. Who knows, maybe I'll make some videos about my school experience, and I hope to make a lot of connections and stuff there and further my skills and whatnot even more. So I'm very excited, though very nervous for that. Outside of that, I also feel like I've gone through a lot of personal growth. I've tried my best to be more helpful with, my household. I've tried my best to gain experience in, helping with things that need to be done around my household. I'm not perfect at it, and I always have room to improve, but, that's the promise of next year, I always have an opportunity to improve, so I'm going to try my best to do so. And yeah. There were a few major game releases this year that made me really happy. Spider-Man 2 is the first of these games, and I really enjoyed it. I have some problems with its story, but overall the gameplay improvements made between it and the previous two entries in the series made me really happy. I don't do this super often, but I have almost platinumed the game, which means getting every single achievement, I'll show an image on the screen just to prove it. The last one I have to do is the New Game Plus one, but I'm low-key not really wanting to play through the entire game again. I will get to it eventually, but that will be an adventure for another time. This one wasn't a new release, but it was one I thought was pretty cool. I played Crash Bandicoot 4 for the first time this year. I haven't completed it. I think I'm on like the third world maybe. But I liked this one a lot. It was very cool to play. I also played a little bit of the Insane trilogy, but I liked Crash 4 a little bit more stylistically. One thing I really like about it that I wish more platformers did is it has this little circle under your feet, like around your drop shadow. And I know the drop shadow is meant to help with like depth perception and stuff like that, but I wish more games had like the little circle around it. I just think it's a cool stylistic choice. If I ever make a game like a platformer, which I'd look to at some point, or a game that has platforming elements, I will probably do that just because I think it's really cool looking. I don't know. Next up is Stellar Blade. I know what you're gonna say. Zer, are you playing this game solely because the protagonist is a hot woman? No. I mean, the hot woman is a bonus, I guess, but I genuinely really like the game and its mechanics. The story was kinda eh. I thought the world itself was cool, but the combat was really fun, in my opinion. I didn't finish this game either, but I did think most of the fights are pretty cool, for what that's worth. I also picked up Sonic Origins at some point this year. Honestly, this one was a pretty big disappointment for a couple of reasons. I did play it with some mods to make the game a little bit better, but I thought that this game, which really should have been a slam dunk, was surprisingly, like, kind of bad.
Shoot.
Sure, it's convenient, but I feel like if you're going to make a product, you should probably make sure it's the best it can be, especially if you have competition. The community has been doing this thing for years where it's been consistently making things, like, better than Sega can, and that's really disappointing for quite a few different reasons. And that fact is sort of heightened when you can play something like Sonic 3 Air and get all this cool mod support and have the original soundtrack and all the cool things that come with that, and yet Sega can't like get everything together and make the games all functional. And keep in mind, this is after the Plus update and with mods that make the game more playable. Like, I do like the overall vibe of it, I guess, and I like the cutscenes, like, I guess, but I'm disappointed the games weren't given the same love as everything else in the collection, because frankly, again, it should have been a slam dunk for Sega. 4 classic Sonic titles in one collection sounds like the greatest thing ever, to be honest, at least for a Sonic fan, and yet they couldn't even manage to bring it together in a way that didn't feel haphazard and sloppy. It's really frustrating, I don't know. And then the big one, the one I'd been waiting for since I was, no joke, 12 years old, Silksong. Oh my god, I love this game so much. So, there's so much to talk about, and I at one point wanted to make a video on it. I guess let me know if you'd be interested in seeing my thoughts on Silksong in more depth. I have a script that I haven't finished that has a lot of details on it, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to actually make it yet, for a couple of reasons, but if I do, I will probably wait until the DLC comes out. And oh my god, I genuinely, I gasped so loud when the DLC was announced. Context, I was asleep, right? And I woke up, I checked my YouTube feed, and I saw a Shorts creator that I watch regularly for their Silksong lore breakdowns, and they were talking about how the DLC was announced, and I was like, there's no way this is real, this has to be a Silk post, if you know, you know. So I audibly gasped, I checked Twitter, because all good things come from Twitter. I go to Team Sherry's page, and I see it. And not only is Silksong's DLC coming out even sooner than I expected it to, or it was announced sooner than I was expecting it to. I was expecting it to take way longer, but also the original game got an update and it has a beta version out right now, which is sick. I wish more games did stuff like this where they go back and add features that were added in future games to the earlier games, because that's always super cool. I love when games get updates years after they're thought to be obsolete, and I think that that's the greatest use of the fact that everything is online now, leveraging that to update games that back in the day you'd have to release a whole new version of it to fix issues and make it better, Granted, examples of this in the past, like the Shindo version of Mario 64, are kind of objectively worse, at least in my opinion. But all that said, I love Silksong. It is genuinely like my game of the year. I'm really sad that it didn't get more recognition at the Game Awards, but hey, I guess that's just how the cookie crumbles. And I'm happy that Team Cherry is still like working on stuff for the game, because it's genuinely such a good starting point for like an amazing game. I want to go into more detail about it, but I don't want to make this section too long. Just know I really like it, and even though I'm pretty decent at it, because I have over 200 hours in it now, I do think that there could be some more like casual friendly options added, like a casual mode. Maybe add an option to have the map be more like something like Metroid Dread, where it's always in the corner, and auto updates. I think things like that could be really cool. Also, maybe add like a feature that allows you to like look left and right. It feels weird that you can look up and down, but you can't look left and right with the right stick or whatever. And maybe rebind the taunt to left stick instead of right stick, because that just feels kind of weird. Why would you use the stick you use for looking up and down for like issuing a challenge? I don't know. It's not bad. It's just a thing I noted, and these are a lot of criticisms that I wanted to put into my main video, but I haven't made that yet. So yeah, it's kind of it. But I absolutely love this game. I've beaten it like I don't even know. I think I've done it like close to 7 times now, or 6 or 7. God damn it. I've beaten the game quite a few times, and I'm trying to get better at speedrunning it because, you know, I'd like to get good. Insert Hornet clip here. Outside of that, I feel like I should be talking about one of the other games I talked about on this channel for a little bit, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. I like the game. I don't have much to say about it outside of, yeah, it's pretty good. I thought it was cool. I definitely think the models are long overdue for an overhaul, but like, fork found in kitchen, you know what I mean? I really hope that the models get remade for the next major game. People are saying it'll probably be announced in the coming year, and I really hope that that's the case, because we didn't really get anything major this year apart from Cross Worlds, which it's not really major as much as it is a spin-off, which is fine, but you know. But yeah, I do hope some things get changed about Cross Worlds, but that will be a thing that I keep an eye out on, or whatever. Maybe I'll finally pick up the game again sometime soon. One of the other biggest pieces of media that came out this year that I am excited to get back into is MHA's final season airing this year. I do know about some of the details of the ending, but I do want to like actually watch it before I give my opinion on it. And yeah, because I just feel like that would be unfair. I do have criticism, but I do want to see if my criticism is sort of leveled by the ending, so we will see. We will see what happens. But generally speaking, I still really like MHA. Most of the characters are really cool, at least in my opinion. I don't know, maybe I'll just draw more fan art of them to satiate my hyperfixation, because it is genuinely like probably top 10 favorite anime. Granted, I don't watch a whole ton of anime, but like some of my other favorites are like Gurren Lagann, BNA, stuff like that, so we'll see. Another piece of media I ended up watching, mostly because one of my friends made me, was Has-Been Hotel. And honestly, I wasn't expecting to really have much positive to say about it. I've watched videos about how it's shittily written and stuff like that, and I kind of learned that not everything needs to be taken super seriously. Like, obviously, if you take the show seriously, yeah, it's pretty bad. But generally speaking, if you just take it as it is and don't really ask too many questions, then it's a decent show. Season 2 is definitely way better than Season 1, mostly because the main character, Charlie, is not there. I'm sorry, Charlie, I hate her. I hate her so much. She's a really annoying main character, and I don't know how much of a hot take that is, but I really don't like her. I like her in concept, right? I think conceptually she is a cool character, but I also find her really annoying whenever she's on screen, and because her character is just what is being shown on screen, her being really stupid and impulsive and causing all of this suffering for no reason, it gets really difficult to root for her as a character. Yeah, and at some point I said this in a Discord call and people got a little bit mad at me, and I will clarify in a second, right? I think Valentino as a character, not as a person, as a character, is more interesting to watch than Charlie, right? Solely because he has a lot more going on, he made me laugh, and stuff like that. I still obviously think he's a terrible person, right? And I think it's kind of weird that he doesn't truly get any consequences for his actions. But I also enjoyed the times he was on screen as a character. Again, as a character, I'm not saying that Valentino is a good person, because he's not. But I found him more entertaining than Charlie. So when I'm looking at this from a non-super critical standpoint, right? Like, which a lot of things don't make sense if you look at them critically with Has-Been, but I don't really care. Yeah, I like Valentino, more as a character than I do Charlie as a character. As people, Charlie is fine. Valentino needs to go to super hell or whatever. But I also don't really like Charlie either, because she's really annoying, and I get her being good-natured, but she also doesn't listen to the people around her when they're telling her things, and she more or less indirectly causes the conflict of both seasons, I think. At least season 2, she caused that entire thing when she had absolutely no reason to. But yeah, that's my mini Has-Been rant, but overall shows are good. I didn't hate the songs as much as I thought I would, even though I'm not a big fan of musicals, because I find them kind of janky, the way that they play out sometimes. A character, it's just a song jump scare whenever someone starts singing, and that was especially common in the first season, and it was really funny. And I even made this joke during one of the songs with I think it's Carmilla and the spidery guy, where I was he just asks how she's feeling and goes tell me how you feel. And I thought that was so funny. And I would like the third season to be better or whatever, but I also don't have a lot of hope, because again, the only reason I liked season 2 as much as I did was because it wasn't focused on Charlie, and I don't like Charlie. And to specify, it's not because of her character itself, her character and concept. I think she's a lot more tolerable in the pilot, but the way she is portrayed in the actual series is really annoying to watch unfold on screen, because there will be times where I'm watching it and she will be doing something stupid and I'll be dude, no, please don't. And I don't know, it's really hard for me to watch at times. When she's not on screen, though, show is great, and most of the songs are also pretty good, but Oh yeah, also Lucifer is the best character in the show. Yeah, that's it. Bye. Now is the part of the video where I talk about the things I'm looking forward to next year. And there's a few things. I'm really looking forward to MHAL's Justice. A friend of mine pre-ordered it for me, and I'm really happy. Also got the bonus episode coming out, I think in May. I don't know what day specifically, but I'm pretty sure it's around my birthday or whatever. Obviously there's Silksong DLC, really excited for that. I also head off to college in less than a week from me recording this, so I am cautiously optimistic that things will go well. Yeah, I'm excited to further my art skills and really, get deep into the stuff I want to be good at. I'm really, really excited to see what the future holds. And there's a lot of stuff that being an adult will allow me to do now. And so, yeah, that's kind of exciting, terrifying, but exciting. And of course, I'm excited to try, at least, to share all of that with you through more episodes of Artrospection. I know I only did one before I didn't manage to do it again, but I'll do more at some point. I'm just busy right now. But yeah, I am excited. I have been working on my art a little bit in the background, but I just haven't quite had anything to show, but hopefully that will change because I'm going off to school literally for art, so yeah, we'll see. Likely uploads won't be super duper frequent, because if it was bad now, I don't want to know what it will be like when I actually have other shit I'm doing. But I will try to upload when I have time and feel up to working on videos, because not gonna lie, my motivation is like a revolving door that I have to stop, but sometimes when I stop it just keeps on going and then my arm's all broken and then I'm really sad. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure how to end off this video, in part because I didn't really plan this in advance. If you haven't noticed, I don't really script my videos, at least not at the moment. I'd like to start doing that in the future, but generally speaking, scripting is really hard for me. It's not that I can't do it, it's just that it can be really difficult for me to feel comfortable doing that, and then reading that off into a mic is, really time consuming, and I just kind of make videos when I feel like it, so, doing all that, the process is difficult for me. My goals for 2026, I guess, is one thing I can do. I want to try and hit maybe 1,000 subscribers, if possible. I know that I have 6 at the time of recording this, which, unless there's like an astronomical explosion of attention to my videos, I don't think that'll happen, but, I can dream, can't I? I'd also like to try releasing an FNF mod next year. I've had a few ideas that I've wanted to try out for a while, for the past 4 years, so I'd like to try actually executing some of them at some point. I'd like to get into exercising more often. I was doing alright with it for a little bit, but then I was lazy, so, that happens, but I hope I can get into a routine of exercising at least a little bit every day, just because, sedentary life doesn't really do much for anyone, and I used to be pretty decently physically active, and then I stopped for reasons. I'd also like to try uploading more music, more remixes, more things in general. I have a ton of remixes that are kind of just sitting there, that I either have 1 or 2 things, and that's always the thing with me, is that if I get caught up on one thing, then I probably won't ever finish it, which can be frustrating, but it kind of just is what it is, at least for the moment. I have a lot of projects I want to try to work on, and I hope to at least start on some of them in 2026, so, yeah. For the few of you that are here, I really appreciate you guys tuning into these videos. I know they're not the highest quality, but I hope to improve my efficiency and ability to produce videos of quality, I guess. To end this off, I do kind of want to just try and give some words of encouragement, since I know that the world is kind of shit, to be honest, right now. All you can really control is yourself, and it can be very easy to get stuck in our own heads and allow ourselves to become paralyzed by the pure chaos of the world that we live in nowadays. And to an extent, I'm sure that's true for everyone, you know what I mean? There's so many groups of people that shots are being taken at from all sides, and it's really, really unfair, and I 100% understand that. I've been, filled with rage for a lot of reasons over time. I've been, extremely depressed. I've been a lot of things, and heck, I still am a lot of those things. I'm just medicated now, so, I understand how unforgiving the world can be, especially if you're not going with the status quo. But I think something that more people should realize is that variety is the spice of life. If everyone were the same, then nothing would ever get done. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, that goes both ways. If everyone was good, then things would be kind of boring. If everyone was bad, everything would be kind of boring. So, I don't necessarily think that the things that are being done are right or anything like that. I definitely don't agree with a lot of the things that are being done either. But what I'm trying to say is that, despite everything, it's still you. Whenever you look in the mirror, whenever you take a selfie, whenever you do any of the things that you enjoy, or even the things you don't enjoy, that's still you, Every part of you, regardless of how small, regardless of how much you hate it, regardless of how much you do or don't give into it or whatever, there's still parts of you. And those parts deserve acknowledgement. Those parts deserve to be heard, to be seen. And I know how easy it is to feel incredibly hopeless and incredibly lonely, especially during an age where most things are done online, so it gets kind of weird really quickly. But trust me, there are people out there for you. There are people out there who care. You just have to seek them out and you just have to take a chance on something in order to break out of your shell and find a happier, I guess, place to be. Whether that be a frame of mind, whether that be a place you enjoy, anything like that, you know? And I'm saying this as much for myself as I am for you, you know? I'm not a perfect person. I've been hateful. I've been angry. I've done a lot of things that I regret. And I've been witness to things I regret, you know? But hindsight is 20/20, and the best thing you can do when you see something is to take action on it, you know? And the struggles that you have will ultimately only make you stronger in the future, if that makes sense. And to all the artists out there who are feeling dissuaded by the fact that AI has become such a big thing, I think that you're kind of missing the point of art to an extent. Art is meant to be an expression of something that you feel. Regardless of how it comes out in the end, it is still an expression of something. And that's something that AI cannot replicate. And if anything, I think to an extent, AI really has shown the people who do and do not see the value in art. I think that the corporatization of art as a whole is kind of antithetical to what art is meant to be. I do think that there are a lot of people who use art to make money versus people who make money from their art. What that means is essentially people who make art solely because it makes them money versus people who enjoy making art and happen to make money from it, if that makes sense. And I agree that it's unethical, unfair, and all those words that, you know, art is being stolen without consent, without consideration of the people who make the art and all that. And I do think that that's really sad, and it is a big problem. But unfortunately, unless there's like some sort of situation where all the AI data centers blow up, it's a part of our reality now. And unfortunately, all we can do is continue on with what we have going on now. But if you're an artist, remember that it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. It may be extremely corny, but it is very much true. The reason a lot of artists say just do it when you ask them, how do I get better? How do I improve? Is because ultimately the person holding you back is you. And I know that that can sound harsh, and I don't mean that in a bad way or anything like that. It can be extremely difficult to get over yourself, you know, for better or for worse. That is just how that is, you know. But I want you to take in mind a thing that you want to do and just go for it. It doesn't have to be good. It doesn't have to be spectacular. It can be as small as putting a dot on a piece of paper. It can be as small as looking at paintbrushes and engaging with things that you enjoy and truly like taking in the art that you love, right? It can be as small as that or as big as, I don't know, Jupiter or something. But all that matters is that you took a step, right? And one thing I heard from one content creator named Vale, I think, I'll put a link to his channel in the description, is one step back, 2 steps forward. And I know that that may seem incredibly corny, but it is genuinely a pretty good piece of advice. Even if you're failing at something, you're still learning, aren't you? You've still taken something that you can apply in the future, right? You don't have to have succeeded to succeed, you know? It's like Meet the Robinsons where they say, keep moving forward, you know? That's all any of us can do. The clock is ticking, and none of us can stop that. All we can do is do our best in the time we have. So that's my encouragement to you. Whatever that thing you want to do is, do it. Because perfection is a myth. You will never be perfect, and that's the beauty of being human. One day I do definitely want to go deeper into this concept of perfection in art and stuff like that. But as an example, right? Super Mario 64, one of the most groundbreaking titles of all time, right? One of the biggest games ever. Like if you've heard of a video game, there's a pretty high chance it's Super Mario 64. right? If not for like the BOJ, then it's because of Mario being like, hey, it's time to go. He didn't say that in the game, but let's pretend he did for the sake of keeping things going. I've been watching a lot of videos by Kaze, a very well-known and prolific SM64 modder and ROM hacker, I guess. And he's been talking about how bad Nintendo was at using the N64 to its full potential. And despite the limitations and despite the fact that they didn't know how to use the hardware to its fullest potential, they still made one of the most legendary games of all time. Heck, they made a legendary game and then made at least 2 more not too long later. And I think that should be enough of a case study to show that it's all about increments. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be flawless. That's not the point of being creative. The point of being creative is to express an idea. And I think more people should keep that in mind. Even the greatest masterpieces have things that can be improved. All of that said, I don't want to, keep yapping for too long, so I could probably do that until the sun rises. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you will look forward to more content coming, hopefully sooner than you think. And that's enough from me. I'll see you guys next year. Keep yourself safe. I love you, and I hope you have a good night. Bye-bye.